Welcome back to the Bison Workshop. I'm Bob. I was just making a joke with that shroud. I think it's just laying in there. I wanted to go over some of the parts that I've already made for the AEA 357. Let me take this god awful looking thing off of there. But it did give me an idea of how to make a new suppressor that fits like this. The only difference is it'd be shorter. So I don't know what that would look like that. If I was to make a shorter tube here with the same, and make it so it uses the same cones. But anyway, that was just for a joke. I wanted to see how many people thought, damn, when's that barrel gonna end? So I'm gonna take this down and show you what I made so far. And just strip it down so you guys can see what I got. Now, I didn't have any of these left. I sold the last one the other day, so I had to rob it off of my gun to send it. And all mine are brand new, so I just slip them on there long enough to sell it, just to make sure they fit, and leave it on there. And then when somebody buys it, I pull it off and send it on. But anyway, this is not the barrel band we're going to be using. We're going to use the shroudless barrel band, which is the smaller one. It'll look similar to the T1 and T2 and M1. Alright, so what we've got here, these just slide into place. And once you get them in the orientation that you want them in, you want to leave them in that orientation. So we're going to move this bad boy out of the way. Or leave them where they are and show you this piece. Well, actually, I've got two different pieces here. This one here was the very first one, and it says Bison in it. And it was originally designed to go in this formation, because I wanted the flat side to be up against the spacer. Oh, I got to pull that off too. That's a part of it. I made this, which is a spacer bushing, and it's got a flat spot on the bottom of it to allow for the distance between the tank and the balls, the rear balls. So this is just to cover the threads that is used for the shroud. So we're just going to cover them threads to protect them and to make it look better. And then it slides on there. Alright. So then I made this one original to go like this and push up against the beauty cover. And then these were going to follow in behind it. But in order to do that, I would have to have my fins facing backwards, because this one was printed backwards. That was my fault. I put that on the wrong side because I wanted my fins to come forward, so you can see the difference. So you can turn them to go in either direction, and they'll still fit each other. But I like mine like that. So anyway, I didn't want it to go backwards, so I decided, well, let's do this. let's just put one of these that's got the half hole on the back side of it. And that actually don't look bad. So I just went ahead and went with it. And then I'll turn this one around so I can have the Bison logo still. Alright, then the barrel, or the shroudless barrel band, will be the one we'll put on it. But this will give you an idea of what it's going to look like, because you're looking at it from the side here. So it doesn't really matter. So we can just turn that, something like that right there. And that gives you an idea of what it's going to look like, except this is not going to be so high. This is going to be a little lower. So they're printing now. So that's what it's going to look like. And this has got so many different applications that you could, I mean, you can sell these in pieces. And, you know, different pieces. Somebody can mix and match. You know, there's a lot of play there to play with. So, I mean, like I said, you can turn it to go in that direction, or you can turn it to go in that direction. And I can make some that's just got regular holes across it, sort of like holes like that all the way across it. Who knows? But each one of them's got set screws on them. So we're not ready to demonstrate this yet. I'm just showing you where I'm at so far. Right now I'm printing out barrel bands so I can finish this. And I've even thought about printing these that are shaped like that's because that's the wrong barrel band. But anyway, same size tube. So we want to make it so that it's like that. I'm thinking for, you know, have it come out a little further and have that in the place of it, so that you could put a Picatinny rail on the bottom of this. Remember, this won't be here. It would just be the regular circle, or the tank circle. So if I was to make it so that it would slide on like that, right in that location, which means the second one would have this on the bottom of it with a Picatinny rail on the bottom. And maybe make one that has a full Picatinny rail on it. Like this one would have a full hole in it, and it would have a Picatinny rail on the bottom of it. So that would mean you'd have to say, okay, I want a 5-inch with a Picatinny rail. You slide that on, and it'll all this will be enclosed. Every bit of this will be enclosed, unless I was to make holes in it to give it a design, which is quite possible to do too. But I'm going to choose this route for mine. So I'm going, because I have a Picatinny rail, I don't need one on my barrel, so I just prefer not to put that up there on my barrel. I don't like putting bipods on barrels or tanks. It's unnecessary pressure against them, and the least amount of upsetting you do to the barrel and the shroud, the better off you are. So I'm just going to design mine so that I can take my barrel band and put it on here, and once I get it squeezed and pushed back towards the back to sandwich all these together as tight as I can get. Now I'll tighten the set screws up. Then I've got a set screw each one of them, 2 of them in each one. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4. So each one of them's got 4 set screws. That is not for tightening nothing. All that is to, you just barely push it down. Just barely. Just to where it's just barely touching it. You don't want to lift the barrel. You just want to take up the slack. That's it. You start pushing on the barrel, you change things. So that's the purpose of the barrel band, is to make sure that this side and this side are exactly the same and they're parallel with the tank. The scope, the barrel, the tank, all has to be parallel with each other. If they're not, if one of them's off, you got a weak link, right? So I'm hoping that this is going to look pretty decent, and I think it is. So we're going to slide that up on there, and I think I'm going to turn the Poof Daddy into a 357 suppressor. And then I got to rethread it, because everybody says, oh, that's 1/2 inch by 20. No, sir, it is not. It is not 1/2 inch by 20. This is 1/2 inch by 20. This is 1/2 inch by 20. Everything I got here is 1/2 inch by 20. It doesn't even want to start. It's got finer threads. This is not 1/2 20. It's bigger. If I had my calipers here, I'd prove it. But anyway, basically this is what it's going to look like from the side. So, I mean, I think it'll look alright. So, there is another way to make a silencer, and I haven't really got into how I'm going to do it yet, and I probably shouldn't, so I'm not going to. That's a secret. But that's what... So I guess this one's going to sport the Poof Daddy. I have a feeling I'm going to have to build a suppressor for this one. I'd also like to have one for my Dragon Claw. There's an issue with that one. The way they designed the end of that Dragon Claw, you'd have to have an awful thin adapter to screw into it, because you don't have enough room between here and here. So, and the barrel comes back past the fill probe, or fill port. Anyway, I just wanted to show you a little bit of the 357 AEA and the barrel system I've got going on right now. And basically what this is doing is letting you put your barrel in a supported track. And then you'll have the barrel band here. That barrel is not going to move off every time you pick your gun up. With my old barrel bands, and this is one of the reasons why I'm not going to be selling no more of them, is because I have a bad habit of picking my gun up like this. You know, if it's leaning against the wall, I'll grab it like this. Alright? When you do that, and you don't have any of this stuff supported, this will shift to the side. And it'll stay that way. Because all my old barrel bands were doing and I knew that that's why I was making them. But I want to make them do more. I want them to do 2 jobs. I like my parts and things to do 2 or 3 jobs at the same time. Anyway, that's why I'm doing the track. So here's what it looks like from the side. And basically all I done was took a barrel band in my, of course this is for the T1 or T2. This one's a little wider apart. But I just took the barrel band and cut this part off, cut that part off, and that's how I got that. So then I just made some circles and then, or I made squares to go through there. I didn't like the squares, so I beveled all the edges and got the round edges or corners. And the reason I done this one here was designed to be a starter, but I should have made this hole on this side and cut this side off half. And this can be turned into a multi one where it can be turned around one way or the other and still look the same. By cutting that part there off, half of that, it'll look exactly like the other ones. So I mean, there's so many things that can be used, these can be used for. And your tank is in a cradle, your barrel's in a cradle, your barrel's not going to be off. If it is, you're doing something way too extreme. That you need something bigger and badder. But I just got that up there temporary. Well, that T2 almost fit it. I bet I can make that T2 fit it. But that's just to keep it all up on there. Still waiting on my barrel to show up for the T2. Just wait, I got it back together, waiting for O-rings and stuff because it was just all over the bench and I don't know how long it's going to be down, so I just went ahead and put it back together with no O-rings and stuff. It's just for looks right now. So we're waiting to get the barrel for that. And I just bored and I thought I'd show you guys this little barrel track system. We call this the Bison train for the AEA. Barrel train. There we go. And you could probably make these so that it don't go, let's see, you can go that far with it and put your barrel band on it. Even that don't look bad. Or you can take, if you don't want the half hole here, which I don't think is going to look bad there having a half hole. But let's just say that you wanted to do it another way. You can, and my shoulder's hurting today. I can take this one out. Now this one's a little longer. Then we'll take this one and put it in. Just like that. So now we put our barrel band on top. I got indigestion for some reason. And then your barrel band goes on there. And they also have set screws that goes in and holds it straight. And I mean, it's just endless what all you can do. Different shapes. Same piece, just different shapes. Take them holes out and put other holes in it. But anyway, don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe. You guys have a good one. Later.